quick video to give some guidance on how to select outcomes to explore in the Be Well neighbourhood dashboard. We cover a wide range of domains and drivers of well-being. So I'm just going to take you through a few examples of things that you might focus on in different situations. So the first example is if you were an organisation looking to use the Be Well dashboard to support your case to deliver a wellbeing activity in or intervention in your area. And this is where then the neighbourhood profile tool is really useful. So you might want to use the neighbourhood profile tool to allow you to really focus in on one neighbourhood and find key measures that could support fundraising applications, comms campaigns and more. And for any given neighbourhood, so I'm just going to select one neighbourhood here in Bolton. For any given neighbourhood, we provide three headline metrics, which are red, amber, green rated against the GM average for each neighbourhood. But you might want to explore further in the measures if your intervention is more targeted. So for example, if you're looking to start a new youth club, you can look within the participation in arts, culture and entertainment section of the neighbourhood profile to see what percentage of young people in that neighbourhood are already accessing youth clubs there. So again, it can give you really kind of precise information that's specific to that local context. Okay, second example is perhaps if you were interested in using the dashboard to identify neighbourhoods that are outliers in certain measures. So here we would go into the main neighbourhood dashboard page that gives us the heat map of GM, and then you can use the domains and drivers map of wellbeing to explore this in more detail. So this could help organisations working across GM or in a particular local authority to really focus in on where support is most needed. So for example, if you were working on a programme that teaches young people about healthy relationships, friendships or bullying, you might want to see how those things differ across different areas of GM. So you could use the subcategories to come down to relationships, and we've got information about relationships with carers, friendships and social support, bullying and so on. So again, we'll select bullying here just as an example, and then you could have a look to see which areas young people report worse or better scores for their perception of those relationships than the GM average. And then finally, just one final example, if you work in, for example, supporting young people to access different creative hobbies, participation in different arts and creative activities and so on, then you would select this tab and you've got a whole range of different types of participation in different activities that you could explore. So for example, just looking at young people who draw, paint or make things, and you can explore the variation across Greater Manchester. Similarly, if you were an organisation that is interested in young people's kind of sports and physical activity and so on, there is the option to explore that. So you could look at things like the physical activity data, but also things like nutrition, sleep and physical health. So the health and routines section is where all of that information is held, and you can look again across GM and filter by subgroups if you were more interested, for example, in girls or boys or young people from more disadvantaged backgrounds and so on. And then finally, if you were working on how young people feel about their local area and the safety and sense of community, you could check out the local environment measures. And again, we have a range of different options here, including how safe young people feel in their local area, but also things like whether they feel that there are good places to spend their free time.